Well, kia ora to all our wahine that are tuning into our interview today. So we have Joanne Hakaraia Olsen, who is a very good friend, close friend of mine and sister. And so I've got her introduction here, so I'm going to do that for you now, so you get to know who she is and what she does in her field of work. So Joanne is a Rongoā practitioner, medicine maker, educator and founder of Te Wakarako. She is Ngāti Raukawa, born and raised in Otaki on the Kapiti coast. Joanne started Te Wakarako as both a service and a practice. She believes Rongoā is an art. It's a creative expression of the natural world, and our stories are shared through the rongoā we co-create. Joanne and her rongoā rōpū, Te Wakarako, opened the rongoā shop and dispensary to bridge traditional plant remedies to modern day needs and imbalances. Our mission is to preserve the mātauranga that comes from these ancient forms of Indigenous botany and keep them alive and vibrant. The vision is to create a forest of apothecary experience through the art of medicine making with the native plants of Aotearoa, and to share the beauty and magic of plants. So welcome, beautiful sister. It's just such an honour to have you in this space to share your story about what you do and why you're so passionate about it. So perhaps we can start there. So I'm going to hand that over to you.
Kia ora. Kia ora, Marama. I just want to thank you for opening this sacred space for all of us wahine to be able to share our stories and to help one another. This is a platform that has needed to come, and I believe now is the right time, and it feels so healing. It feels so healing to be able to be in this platform with you, Marama. Ngā mihi nui ki a koe.
Kia ora, Jo. Thank you so much. It's so beautiful. And I think you're so right about it's time. It's time for women to collaborate and come together and to be in spaces and places like these places, you know, where you can share and learn from each other and grow to our potential. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to bring this space. And it's not only about what I can do, but what we can do as a collective and collaborating together as wahine, as women, because that's powerful in itself.
Ka pai. That's exactly. It's so powerful when wahine get together, and the empowerment and creativity that comes from being all together. Very, very powerful. We're uplifting each other. So kia ora ma.
Kia ora, Jo. So the first question that we had was, what do you do and your field of work, and why are you so passionate about it?
So I guess what I do is I try to share the beauty and magic of plants, and whether that is through Rongoā Mauri, or whether that is teaching about the Mauri of Rako, seeing the Mauri in plants, or whether it's through environmental mahi, like being a kaitiaki of spaces, then I guess that's what I do, sharing the beauty and magic in those spaces. I feel like my role has changed over the years. So now I think my field of work could be around teaching, because that's what I seem to love. I seem to love to be able to teach, and that's something that I was doing when I was a child. When I was 8 years old, I used to teach other children, and so that's coming back. And yeah, I guess I grew into that space. And what I'm passionate about it, because I love what comes through plants, you know, the Mauri and the light, the sacred light that comes through, and being able to see the Mauri of plants have an effect on people's lives and their environment, and being able to see that. So I'm really passionate about that.
Yeah, I've many times when I've had time with you, and we've been around Rongoā, and we've talked about Mauri. If you can explain to our wahine, for those that don't understand, what your understanding of Mauri, and how do you connect to that Mauri?
Ka pai. So Mauri, from what I have been taught and shown, is that Mauri is like a light. It's the divine light that comes through everything into Taiao, everything in our natural world, through people, through stones, through the ocean. Mauri is there. You can see Mauri, you can feel Mauri. It's like seeing the light, or a life force, or a life essence, a vibration coming through. That is what Mauri is. And when we connect and tune in and are able to see that Mauri, that tends to raise our vibration to meet the vibration of the Mauri that we're tuning into. And it raises our vibration to match that. It is a science that it has to match it. And what happens is, when we match that vibration, anything that doesn't match it will start to fall away, or needs to fall away, or is revealed to us to fall away. And that's where the intensity of the mahi is, because we have to let it drop away if we choose to. That's where the mahi is. So connecting to the Mauri, the life force, is what I feel Mauri is. It's a life force, and tuning into that.
Oh, absolutely. I love how you've explained that, because the one thing that I get from Mauri is all about the connection. Like you say, that, you know, you're having that connection with the light and everything that resonates at that frequency. So it just reminded me of, you know, like as you were talking about things falling away, if it's not at the same frequency, you can relate that to say that you're learning so much in this in this world, and your knowledge is getting higher and higher. And if you're meeting someone that's at a different level, then that resonance may not meet, so to speak. So yeah, I love how you talk about Mauri, and I'd like to just come into the book that you've written now. Do you want to share about your book, because it's all about the Mauri and the amazing information?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I just happen to have a copy here. So this is it here, Rako, the sacred flow of light. Rako meaning plants and trees, but Ra, you know, Ra being the divine light, you know, the veil behind what sun is. So Ra being the sun, but it's divine or sacred light. And Ko is the flow, the Ka is the flow, and U is the sustenance. So the flow of divine light coming through the Rako. So this book is actually a culmination of my healing journey, which started back in 2008. And the book took 10 years to write. And I guess what I've got in there to help my healing journey. So I guess this is a good time to go into that, into touching on the healing journey that I went into, that I experienced. Back in 2008, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. 2008, and that was just shortly after I was married. And during that time, when I was diagnosed, I went into shock. So I kind of like froze or became numb. And I think at that time, what I realized is that my wairua had left me, because my body was going into shock. But when I think back now, what was happening is that my wairua was leaving me so I could continue mahi on my body. It was about to be invaded, is that the right word, invaded, through hospital treatments. And so my wairua, I felt like it had moved to a safer place. So, you know, when you're diagnosed with an illness, it's not just you that is being diagnosed. Your whānau, your partner, everyone around you that you love is also being diagnosed. So everything has to come into consideration, everybody. And of course, what my whānau wanted for me was to go through the hospital treatments, which I did. And invasive treatments like radiation. And so, yeah, so that sort of went on. Sorry, turn this off.
I figured as much.
So what happened during that time, it was a whole year of treatment, hospital treatment. What I did do was that I went into something kick-started, something activated within me to do something different with my life. Because at the time when I was diagnosed, I was on a whole different pathway. I was a real estate agent. Can you believe that?
Wow.
I was a real estate agent, which is how I met my husband in real estate. We were working in a corporate world, living in a corporate world. And then when I was diagnosed, that's when the healing happened. And I knew that my pathway had to change. Everything had to change. The way I thought, the way I did things, everything. So yeah, that took me on a journey. My diet changed. I did healing work, emotional healing work from a person called Brandon Bays, and she has a book called The Journey. And what The Journey was about, it was the book that I started reading, and I started doing her activities, and it's all about emotional or cellular clearing through the emotional veil. So I did that, and I did that for a long time. It's quite addictive. It's very intense, but quite addictive. And I just kept doing it and doing it. And the more I kept clearing cells, doing these ceremonies, the more that I was emptying and purging, the more I felt my body becoming lighter. And I could see and feel things, the energy, the stagnation in my body starting to move. The other healing treatment that I was receiving at the time was massage. And I did that on a regular basis. Every week I would go and have a massage. And what massage taught me is that it developed my intuitive sight to be able to focus on where the masseuse's hands were and be able to focus on the cells that she was working on. And also I could see the images, the files, whatever was going on there, I could feel that being worked on. And seeing the images was really important because I was journaling a lot. So this is what was happening was that I was going into deep study, a real deep wānanga into learning about tools that I could take on to heal myself, but also it was going to be used to heal other people, to treat other people, the things that I had learned. So when I started to see these things about massage, I knew that I needed to learn how to massage to be able to provide that. And so I studied massage, and then I combined everything that I had learned through my healing journey into the massage that I provided. And it felt so fulfilling to be able to do that. It was something that it was a type of massage that I knew I needed. Therefore, if I needed it, I knew other wahine would need it as well. And that was what was powerful. That was what came out of my healing journey, was to be able to deliver it for other people. And that is what, whenever we're going through any treatments or we've got an illness, what we have to take from that is our learning experience from it. What are the tools that we can gain from it to be able to share it with other people who could be in the same situation? So it's a very, very brief corridor on my healing journey, but what I learned, it's all about the tools that you pick up on the way. That was over 10 years ago. Yeah. And so everything about the journey, all the tools that I learned and is in this book, and yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, amazing journey, healing journey that you've been on, sis. And I love how you explained about when the massage lady was working on your body and you were taking note of how it was going into the cells and how that was being healed at a deeper level. And so it's maybe not so much about going for a massage and letting them do what they want on you, but participating in the actual whole process of how the healing's going to go. And I think that's even more powerful as having that input as well.
That's right, Ma. That's right. Participation. So it's when people were coming to me for miri, it's getting them to participate in the mahi as well, getting them to really feel where you're working on the body. I mean, that's exactly what I needed. I needed to, well, where are you working? Where is your hand? What organ is that connected to? You know, all of these questions would go through my mind, and I needed to know. I could connect the organ to the emotion. Wow. These are all the learning tools that I was learning, and just by receiving massage. But I couldn't find a massage therapist that could deliver, you know, cellular memory massage. So yeah. So I knew that perhaps that's something that I could do.
Absolutely. And I know that you're a Rongoā practitioner, so you practice in native plant medicine and with the plants. So could you give us a sort of a background story of when you went into that stage and in your Rongoā journey?
Absolutely. So Rongoā has always been in my life as a child, and even as a child, but it really kicked in after my healing journey. It kicked in 2011, 12 or 13, around there. And I think that that journey to be activated, it was about remembering the rongoā that we had worked with in the past and being activated to bring that through. I think our kaiako, the kaiako at the time, who activated the memory of rongoā, was so pivotal to that journey, because what he did was he activated the cells. He activated everything and helped us to develop our intuition even more, to be able to read the plants. Because I don't think it was not about learning about the plants, it was about being able to read the plants and understand what their rongoā is. You know, that's what it was for me. Hey, sis.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a whole nother corridor, and another part of rongoā is having that really close relationship and connection with them, so much so that you can have a conversation with them and tune into their resonance and their frequency as well. So yeah,
that's right, because the rongoā will actually give you will provide you with the treatment and what that plant provides as a medicine. That's another stage of rongoā. And of course, learning the medicinal properties of plants is the application of that, isn't it? The application. Mm-hmm. So I learned about plants. How I use rongoā in my healing journey was I used them to ascend, to ascend. Because if you can remember back in the day, around 2012, that's when there were big changes in the universe. The energy changed. Things became faster. The Mayan calendar was kicking in at that time. So it was a real pivotal moment. And that's why the kaiako came along and helped to activate that. And things just sped up for us. Everything sped up. Our learning. Yeah. When I look back to 2009 and those times when I was going through healing and going through the emotional healing and cellular healing, there was a real physical experience. And that took a long time. Like back then, that's how long it took. You had to do the mahi. Yeah. But now time is so quick. It's not necessary to go through all of those motions, go through all of those times. It's now a flick of the switch where we can heal very, very quickly just by changing our thoughts, and letting that go. So
absolutely, totally agree there. Absolutely, because yes, it can be changed just like that, and there are tools and ways of doing that. But yeah, just acknowledging that point, because it's such an important thing, because when we have gone through traumatic experiences and then we, if it's unresolved, then we can tend to drag it along with us for years, maybe decades, for a long time. But if we learn the tools on how to get to the place where we can release that, it's powerful.
That's right, Ma. It's just all that needs to happen now is to acknowledge. So allow it to come up, allow the memory to come up, and then acknowledge it. We don't have to unpack it anymore. We don't have to unpack it and go through the motions. It's about acknowledging and then moving, because we're moving really quickly. The universe really supports us to move quickly. Otherwise, it just feels like baggage. It's weight.
Yeah. And like you say, the world has sped up so much that even our thinking has sped up as well. And you just have to look at social media, that's all sped up. And and even the healing, like you say, the healing can be so fast that it's just a shift in your subconscious to bring it through to the conscious mind. And the shift can be just so quick. One way is to breathe. It's just to take it and stop and be present. Just be present, because we're so out there in the world that we need to bring ourselves back and center ourselves so that we're present in the present moment and breathe deep, right down into the puna. So I'd like to ask you now is about your amazing kaupapa that you've been driving in to Wakarako, and your shop and your dispensary that's just opened up in Otaki. So I'd like you, if you'd talk more about that as well.
Right.
Thank you, sis.
Yeah, so I think I had this vision about 5 years ago. I had an idea of the vision where I wanted to Wakarako to go, and it was about a cycle. It was following a cycle. So I did stream restoration for a long time, and through stream restoration, I was able to deliver rongoā workshops through that. And back in the day, it wasn't recognized, it wasn't acknowledged, rongoā. So we had to find our own way of, providing an income. You couldn't just do rongoā as mahi, because we weren't able to survive like that, as you know, Ma. But now we've sort of been, it's acknowledged and we're kind of supported. But 5 years ago, I had this vision: how do I immerse myself with Rongoā, where I can work amongst it, be with it, teach it, and always live it, be living it. And that was my dream. And I just started with the stream restoration. That's the easiest way that I could see how I could immerse myself in it and still make an earning, still survive, still live. So the dream of Te Wakarako is, what we do is we've opened a Rongoā shop and dispensary in Otaki, and the dispensary holds about 50 traditional plant medicine, all dried leaves, where we can dispense Rongoā to people who come into the shop, to support them with any symptoms or ailments that they might have. This is something that is fairly new, and I actually felt, oh, should I be doing this? You know, because there's a tikanga around harvesting, isn't there? Mm. But when COVID came in, everything changed. Everything changed. Wow. When COVID came in a couple of years ago. We needed Rongoā for people straight away, and we couldn't get to the bush. We couldn't get to certain places. So things have changed, where we have to evolve with the times and with what people need. And so that's why we started with the Rongoā shop and dispensary, and being able to provide that with the shop. So our Rongoā rōpū, they make the product out, and we do stream restoration in a ngahere, in a little forest space that we've been given to look after, to be the kaitiaki of. We approached Greater Wellington Regional Council to see how we can harvest the pathways and tracks, so we could take the harvest for ourselves and still uphold the tikanga for those plants. And that's how we can get around. So that's our dispensary. And so our Rongoā rōpū are able to harvest from that. And we do that every Monday. So we've got that rōpū going. They make the products, we do the drying, we do in everything that comes into the shop, any pūtea that comes in goes straight back into the cycle to sustain the shop. The shop is not important. The shop was an outcome to show the expression of what the rōpū are doing. Wow. That it was just to be the expression of that. What was not important. The important part of it was getting people to the environment and getting them to connect with the plants out there. That was the main mahi, because I could see that there's a disconnection with our people down here and the whenua, tapatua anuku, everything, the tikanga are around that. And so it's just about connecting people back to the whenua again, remembering our plants, remembering Rongoā, and how powerful and potent it is for us. So that's the cycle, Ma. It was a cycle to keep going around with the rōpū with us as well. So that's what we do.
Yeah, and it's been such an amazing journey. I've been privileged to be part of your journey now and again, and I follow you on Facebook, and I'm in your website. Would you like to just let our wahine know how they can contact you online? Aye. They'd like to connect. Yeah.
Aye. So our website is tewakarako.com. And yeah, you can catch all my contact details are on Te Wakarako. We have I think just go onto the website and have a look. Make sure you subscribe to the page, because we keep you all updated, and you can become a member on the page, and that's all part of the cycle that we're doing, membership. So yeah,
fantastic. Just amazing that the service and what you're providing for our women to be a part of this amazing journey of connection. I would like just to ask, what are some words or some words of encouragement for women that are on a journey of self-discovery and they're wanting to connect with Rongoā as well? What are some things that some tools or words of encouragement that you could pass to our women today?
Yes, I guess words of encouragement would be that there is no time like the present. There is no time like now. We are powerful right now in the moment, right in the moment. That's when healing takes place. That's when miracles happen, is in the present moment. When we think of the future, that's where anxiety and stress that comes into our being, is when we think of the future. When we think of the past, that's when we've got stress again and a weight that carries with us. So our power is in the present. Our power is in the present. And what I teach other people how to be in the present, especially to do with plants, is to connect with any plant that you love, and just be with it. It will bring you into the present, and just feel the Mauri of the plant, so to bring you back into that present moment, especially right now when the eclipses are happening and moons and cosmic energy. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, beautiful, beautiful words of encouragement is to be in the present, because sometimes I think, women are intuitive. They say that 99% of our intuitive feelings will come through. Only 1% you might self-doubt yourself, and then, if you go into self-doubt, you're just going to keep doubting yourself. So it's about tuning into your intuitive processes, so that you can take that step forward. If you believe that this is right for you, then go with it, because you'll take that step and another step, and things will start to unfold as they're meant to unfold. And it's just having that faith to do that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love our kōrero. Like I say, we could talk for hours and hours. Oh, awesome.
I know.
Jo, I wanted just to ask you about, because I know you do lots of workshops and retreats, and I think if women are able to connect with you through these, how are they going to connect to attend any of your retreats, which are amazing?
Just subscribe to our website, to wakarako.com, and we'll let you know when there's workshops or retreats or events coming up. I guess I just want to make a quick plug for Puna Ora Rongoā, which starts every year in March and goes for 9 months. And it goes for 9 months because we work with about 20 rākau and tuning into their Mauri, and the healing that comes from sitting with a plant every 2 weeks with a group of wahine is really, really powerful. We do it all together, and just watching the effects of that. So if you're wanting to do something like that, that's available there too. The next one is March 2023. 2023.
I know, the years are just going past. Amazing. And you hold your workshops in Otaki at a retreat there, which is amazing what I've seen online. So I'm hoping to join you at some stage in one of your amazing retreats. I'd love to be a part of that.
We'll host you, Ma, so you calm down.
No,
I know you've got such a busy schedule, so we've been trying to get you down.
I'd love to come down, absolutely. So just to let our wahine know that, if you're ever feeling like, that you'd like to learn with Jo more about the Mauri of Rongoā and native plant medicine, that I highly recommend her, because she will take you on such an amazing spirit-filled, heart-centered journey with her, and that I know that you would just embrace the women and hold them in a very safe space in doing that, which I know that you do. So I'd just like to ask, are there any parting things, like there is a question that I really wanted to ask you, and is what's the most significant transformation that you have made that stands out for you? What is the thing that you know that you've transformed from where you've been to where you are now?
Yes, that would be about energy. It would be about knowing that healing can come very quickly, that we don't have to draw it out anymore. That is the most significant transition that I have experienced. And to know that, I remember just when I was doing my spiritual mahi, my practice, I'd walk around this field, wherever it was, and I'd walk, and I remember having a download that now all we have to do is just, it's like walking into a veil. Walking, it's just a step in and then it's gone. That's how quick it is. That is how quick healing and anything, manifestation, takes. And that was the thing that I needed to hear, that I didn't have to do the emotional work anymore, that it was very, very quick. It was just stepping over the line. But you know what, Ma? That step, some people need like a process to go through.
Absolutely.
For healing. A step over the line is not enough. Do you know what I mean?
I do, absolutely. They need a process to go through.
Yes.
For that step.
That's right.
And allow those steps to unfold as it unfolds. But it can just, the decision to do that is about listening to your intuition, that deep inner wisdom that we know as women, we're 99% right. I read that somewhere. 99% right. I thought, 99% right. And that 1% can just get out. Just totally have total belief. And if things are coming up for you, is to tune right into it and say, yes, this is right for me, if it feels right for you. That's
the key, Emma. It has to feel right. That is the key.
Wow. Is there anything else that you'd like to share before we close our interview? It's been amazing.
Wow. And we hardly talked about Rongoā. But I think that's another.
Well, we can, before we close, we could do that. Absolutely.
I think with my Rongoā journey, because every Rongoā journey is different, hey? I think mine was about learning about the Mauri of plants more than the medicine, because to me that's, I love the medicine of the plant, and I use that for ascension or to connect or to ground. I no longer use it for healing for myself. It's more about balance, bringing balance, and that's what Rongoā is, isn't it? Bringing balance. But I think for me, the Mauri of the plants was where I needed to go with my journey, and that's really where I focus on.
Beautiful. And I'm just thinking about the word Rongoā for our wahine, our women that are listening, if they don't know what the word Rongoā means. Do you want to elaborate on that?
I think we both will.
Yeah.
Gosh. rongo means to listen, to hear, to sense. To me, it's about using the senses, to be able to hear what's going on in our whare, in our tinana, everywhere around us, using our senses. And so rongoā can be anything that helps us to bring balance into our life. It can be kōrero, it can be waiata, it can be anything that brings us balance and peace. Yeah, very, very brief.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, rongoā. I think of the senses, so our senses in smell, sight, taste, hearing are all activated when we connect in with our native plants, and everything is heightened. Everything feels more heightened at a different resonance when you connect from, say, a person to a plant, because our whakapapa or our DNA is so close to that of plants that we already have that relationship. As in our creation stories, we were Io, God, our creator, created rongoā before the human was created. So we refer ourselves to they are our tuakana or our elder siblings to us, the humans. So when we have that relationship, we have such respect, deep respect for our trees and of all the different types of trees. My favorite one is kawakawa. So but I love them all, but I have some favorites. So yeah, it's all about that that knowing about that lineage or that whakapapa, where it comes from. Yeah. And we
beautiful, Mal.
Wow. Yeah.
Love that. That is beautiful. The whakapapa, that's our connection, our connection through whakapapa. Beautiful. Yeah. We do have our favorite rākau, don't we? We have our favorites.
Can I ask what your favorite is?
Oh, it keeps coming. My favorite would be tūpakihi. I've got two.
You've got two, yeah.
Tūpakihi and kohe.
Oh, of course, yeah. Of course, beautiful. Yeah.
And isn't it interesting, Ma, that when you have a favorite, it's like reading tea leaves, saying reading tea leaves. When you have a favorite plant.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's how close a relationship we can have with our rākau, our plants, is that we can read them. We're able to read. It's just like reading an oracle card. We can read into them. They'll show us through the veins of the leaves how to move into the body, how to move through the veins, how to move through the blood vessels and into all the different organs. So yeah, they tell us too how to work within those systems.
Stunning. I love that. That is beautiful. I found that when we go for a walk into the ngahere and I ask someone, show me a plant or a tree that stands out for you, and we'll walk through and see which one stands out, and they'll stand in front of it, and that's front of a rākau that they love, that they've connected to, and you can see the healing of between the two. They need that rākau to bring balance into their lives. I found that very, very powerful tool where the trees do the mahi. We don't have to.
Yeah. Aren't we?
We can guide it.
Yeah. We're so fortunate to have our tuakana there our elder siblings there to support us in that way and to heal us. Yeah. Wow. Wow, sis, I think we could talk for hours and hours.
I know. I'm looking at the time, I'm thinking, I'm sure you said. No, it's beautiful. You've got to go with the flow when it's flowing.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd just like to before we close, just to ask you, what is your takeaway from this, having this session together? What is maybe it's just a word, but what is it that has inspired you or given you some kind of inspiration or direction?
I would say the word, Ma, is empowerment. Empowerment because of the platform that you've provided, the space that you've provided to be able to share our stories, and knowing that it's going into a safe place and being empowered from that, being with other wahine, like-minded wahine together. So yeah, what I've taken away is I feel very empowered, inspired, creative, everything that a wahine feels.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, yeah. Expansion.
Expansion. Yes.
Yeah.
Expansion. Inspired. Creative. Everything. That's what I'm receiving from this. So kia ora, Ma, for what you're doing here.
Kia ora, Joan. Thank you so much for your time. I really value our time together whenever we're able to catch up with each other, and I really value who you are as a wahine and all the work that you do out in your space, and for giving out so much to women that are in need of direction, of expansion, of creativity. Aww. Yeah, so ngā mihi nui ki a koe e te tuakana, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Love you, Ma.
Love you.